And okay, sir, start. ठीक है सर, आप स्टार्ट।
आप कल का वादा था कब?
सर सॉरी, मैं कल ना हॉस्पिटल चला गया था
ना, उधर का काम आप लोगों के या इधर का भी ऐसी Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm sorry for the inconvenience of connectivity. Back to the thing that yesterday we talked about infective endocarditis, the causes, clinical types, whether acute or chronic, the organisms which are responsible for infective endocarditis, and the abnormalities of cardiac, and then grossly what happens in this infective endocarditis in microscopic pictures. The only thing which left was pericarditis. Pericarditis means the two things you need to remember is one is called this pericarditis may be acute or chronic depending on the severity of the disease. The acute conditions can be categorized or different types. Depending upon the type of inflammatory exudate they produce, we label them or name them as serous pericarditis, fibrinous or serofibrinous pericarditis, purulent or suppurative. So the words are very, very clear: hemorrhagic pericarditis, caseous pericarditis. So when there is a caseous type of necrosis, which is mostly due to tuberculosis, as you read, maybe in the lungs or anywhere, the mycobacterium, the tubercles of a mycobacterium, or the mycobacteria, you just say when they cause tuberculosis of lungs, there also you can see the caseous necrosis. So same is here. When the pericarditis is because of mycobacterium, that is labeled as caseous, because the necrosis which it causes in the pericardium has cheesy material, that is caseous material, which is eosinophilic stain, and so that then you go. So all these names, serous type of exudate, fibrinous, the exudate which is having more fibrin, or serofibrinous, you can see this. And purulent means pus, and suppurative, this is also again pus. Hemorrhagic when there is blood. And the causes of serous pericarditis, that could be infective or non-infective. When the microorganisms are involved, you call it infectious pericarditis. When the microorganisms or microbes are not involved as a cause of pericarditis, you call it non-infectious or non-infective serous pericarditis. So serous is the word from exudation. So if the exudate is serous in nature, and microbiologically you don't find any microbacterium, or the cause is not related to any microbe, maybe a virus, maybe bacteria. And you know that the closed bacteria, upper respiratory tract or the lower respiratory tract, the infection comes from there and travels and goes to the heart. I've already told you. And this viral parotitis or parotid gland infection can also go to, obviously, to the pharynx, and from pharynx to the heart. So pericarditis, जो serous है, acute की बात हम कर रहे हैं. We're talking about acute pericarditis, which is a complication, or you can say which is most of the time after rheumatic fever. तो वो उसमें acute microbes वगैरह की वजह से है. So if the exudate is serous, you call it or serous pericarditis. Viruses अगर culture से आपको पता चलता है, then the cause is so that reflects the cause. Second thing is acute myocardial infarction or post-infarction cases, or after cardiac surgery and uremia. So these are few causes in which there is the exudate is having more fibrin. So you call it fibrinous, and mostly when you culture it, you don't find any microbe or microorganism, whether it is a bacteria or a virus. Purulent, again, it is related to infection. So infective organism, obviously, it is purulent means pus or suppurative. So pus forming. So pus forming usually are after infective organisms, or from where These organisms, they are coming either from lungs, that is conditions like empyema, lobar pneumonia. Sometimes the mediastinal infection, other than lung can also directly extend to heart. क्योंकि दिल जो है वो फेफड़ों के बहुत करीब है. So hematogenous route from a faraway route or a lymphatic route can be. So these are the channels from where the microbes, they travel and they go to heart, and they can, and the exudate is like passants. So you name it, purulent or suppurative pericarditis. Hemorrhagic, when after infection, maybe Burkle's bacillus or maybe other focal organisms, or following surgery, catheterization. Sometimes the neoplasia is there and effusion after neoplasia. What is effusion? I'll talk just in a minute. So, so you can say that the exudate is having blood as well. So you call it hemorrhagic pericarditis, and the causes of hemorrhagic pericarditis, the seropericarditis is wrongly placed over here. Should just cut and paste. And cases I already talked. So these are different types of pericarditis, which we could not talk yesterday because of shortage of time. Pleural effusion, pericardial effusion, I'm sorry. Pericardial effusion means the fluid in the pericardial cavity. Heart के इर्द-गिर्द जो cavity है, उसमें जो fluid accumulation होता है, so you call it pericardial. उसकी causes आमतौर पे जो है वो they are hemorrhagic, purulent. ये acute conditions में भी the effusion mostly can be seen in hemorrhagic and purulent pericarditis. But so any infective endocarditis can have fluid in the pericardium. So sometimes the hemorrhage from aortic dissection or rupture of aorta, or if an coagulative necrotic heart or a wall of the heart ruptures, so वो भी the myocardium say it can go into the pericardium, and then it can lead to pericardial effusion. So accumulation of fluid is called pericardial effusion. So this was acute and chronic or healed pericarditis. Healed is in fact after the healed word should be used after chronic. So chronic pericarditis is when the inflammatory condition becomes chronic. So it all depends on the duration of illness here. And usually this is moving towards addition of these fibroblasts leading to fibroid flakes formation. And you call it adhesive, or sometimes you also call it healed. Adhesive means fibrin. Adhesion is because the exudate plus fibrin, they adhere. So adherence is the word. So you can use as adhesive or chronic pericarditis, and when fibroblasts they form plaques or healing or scar, you call it a healed pericarditis. So adhesive mediastinal pericarditis is sometimes the word used. Constrictive pericarditis is due to suppuration. So suppuration का क्या होता है जब whenever there is suppuration or serious so what happens is, or after irradiation, तो shrinkage होने की वजह से constriction हो जाती है. You call it constrictive or narrowing of that. तो वो constrict करती है heart के ऊपर pressure डाल के because of this obviously suppuration जो पास है वो finally fibroblast के addition होने की वजह से it can lead to constrictive pericarditis. So these are the different types of pericarditis you know. But coming on to cardiomyopathies, the last topic, cardiomyopathies and myositis. So these are the two different words. Myositis can be immunogenic, it can be inflammatory, it can be metabolic, or it can be. So cardiomyopathies is a specific word disease which results from abnormality in the myocardium. Myocarditis means inflammation of myocardium. So inflammatory condition, वो rheumatic fever में हो या और disease में हो, you can say that the causes of myocarditis are many, but cardiomyopathy, when you say, that means primary disease is due to heart. So there are different types of cardiomyopathies. The dilated cardiomyopathy, 90% cases it is dilated cardiomyopathies, and hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or HCM and restrictive cardiomyopathy. These are three different types. You can see four different diagrams, and this is just a diagrammatic presentation of dilated, hypertrophic, and restrictive. As the words are very, very clear, you can have a clear understanding. This is a normal heart, diagrammatic heart, and this is dilated. You can easily see the dilation of ventricles and the atrium. So, but this is hypertrophic. So, what is the difference between dilation and hypertrophy? Obviously, in both conditions, the heart is enlarged. But dilation means the ventricles are dilated. So, there is a large space, ventricular space, or the part of the heart which is dilated, it shows a large lumen. But whereas hypertrophic, this enlargement is there in both the conditions, but फर्क से ये है, difference is the dilation में the lumen of the heart or ventricle or the chamber you call it, that heart chamber shows dilation and the lumen is enlarged. Whereas in hypertrophic, as the word indicates, there is hypertrophy of the musculature. So thickness of wall is there and the lumen becomes narrow. Heart enlarged है दोनों condition में. But एक dilation में वो dilate हो गया, the lumen normal size of the chamber से भी ज़्यादा है. But if you measure the size on echocardiography, you will find that the heart is dilated. But when you find the lumen of heart is decreased and the thickness of wall is increased, that is hypertrophic, and restrictive means when there is restriction. Obviously, when narrowing, you can call it. So restricted function, incompetency of the heart is restrictive cardiomyopathy. We will talk about it in detail as well. The dilated cardiomyopathies, as I told you, there is dilation. So what happens is nothing to do with the walls. Rather, sometimes the wall becomes thin instead of thick. But the lumen of the heart increases. So progressive cardiac dilation and contractile dysfunction क्यों हो जाता है? Age concedes 20 to 50 years. Commonly, it is seen. It may be familial or genetic. 25 to 30% cases may it is largely the effect is on cytoskeletal proteins. Mostly it is more so acquired condition. And acquired is after myocarditis, toxicity, sometimes after pregnancy, or associated with pregnancy, nutritional deficiency. Immunological reaction, and sometimes the cause is not known, that is idiopathic. The features are, I'm sure, what happens is there is a decreased left ventricular ejection fraction. Normally it is 50 to 60%. ये आम तौर पे हम मायोकार्ड इंफार्क्शन हो, कार्डियोमायोपैथीज हो, एंडोकार्डाइटिस हो, या any disease, this echocardiography पे, this is a very important function which can be related to different causes of that is ejection fraction. Ejection fraction is condition में in dilated this cardiomyopathies में is less than 1. Ejection fraction जो कम होता जाता है, that means ejection percentage में blood output, that is cardiac output, decreases. So heart goes towards failure. Cardiac failure, or which I just talked to you right now, and sometimes there is arrhythmia. So arrhythmias or embolization from other places or in cardiac thrombus can be seen in all these cases. So dilated cardiomyopathies में एक बात याद रखें, there is dilation, there is increase the volume. Ejection fraction जब dilation हो रही है तो muscle are not so strong. So they the ejection rate is less than 40%. So ejection fraction is less. So ये इनके आमतौर पे important features होते हैं. So basically it is abnormal diastolic filling. Filling properly नहीं हो रही है तो वो बड़ा slow आ रहा है blood, और dilated heart है वो fill ही नहीं हो रहा. जब fill होगा तो so contractibility of heart जो है ना वो भी takes more time. Idiopathic hypertrophic aortic subaortic stenosis or hypertensive obstructive. So now we talked about dilated cardiomyopathy. The second was hypertrophic. तो वो बेसिकली दोनों में इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन था। हाइपरट्रोफी होगी तब भी उसकी अंदर से हेलो, any question you want to ask? Doesn't matter. So hypertrophic means after hypertrophy. So cardiomyopathy related to hypertrophy, cardiomyopathy related to dilation. This hypertrophic is most of the time a genetic disease or mutation भी इसमें होती है. Clinical features are, I have already told you that there is a decreased stroke volume, there is reduced in size of the chamber, filling of the heart is also impaired. So hypertrophy or dilation में clinical features almost एक ही जैसे होते हैं. Because dilated heart में there is a large space जो fill नहीं होती. तो इसमें space तो कम होती है, walls भी thick होती हैं, लेकिन there is impairment in the filling. So almost stroke volume is always. और इसकी के जो usual complications हैं वो most of the time जैसे इसमें dilated cardiomyopathy में it was cardiac failure, but here it's defibrillation or failure is also there, but ventricular arrhythmias and atrial arrhythmias or atrial fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation, sometimes thrombosis, embolism. Cardiac failure is also as seen in dilated cardiomyopathy. It can also be seen in hypertensive. तो फर्क क्या है दोनों में, वो ये है कि एक हाइपरट्रोफी के बाद है और एक because of some other disease of myocardium there is thinning of walls and dilation. Dilation कब होती है? जब there is thinning of walls, thickness and तो echocardiography पे आमतौर पे जब the